What's going on, guys? Just want to take you real quick through the journey on this pistol. So obviously, as you can tell, she's not stock anymore. I know you've seen this in other videos, but I never took time to explain what I did here. As you can see here, I did throw on a Holosun red dot on top. This is the Holosun 507, the HE507K, and as you can tell, GR, so that stands for a green dot. It's not a red dot. And if you never noticed, the green dots also have green dots right there in the logo instead of red dots, so I think that's pretty cool. Stupid little things that make me happy, so I like that, in case you never noticed it. So the red dots will have an actual red dot right there. So it is the green, it is the X2 version, as you see there. So on my SIG P365, I had the 407K. Here I have the 507K. So as you can see on the P365 here, I have the, even though I painted over it, this thing is taking a beating. This was still is an everyday carry pistol of mine. So I've been rotating through these two. Probably gonna put this one out to pasture soon. But this thing is fantastic. I love this pistol. It still has some pros over that one, but I just wanted to show you something. You can still see there, let's see. There it is, HS407K-X2. So the difference between this one and that one is this one here is a multi-reticle. This one is a single reticle. So this one here, let me drop this thing free and clear. So this one here is a single reticle. This one has a 6 MOA, and as you can tell, let me get out of the way there, it's a red dot, okay? I would have shown you the red dot here, but obviously I painted over this thing. Even though the paint's wearing away, you still can't see it. So, and then this one is obviously a green dot. Now this one, as you can tell, is a bigger dot. Let me see if I can get you there. So that's a 6 MOA dot. So that one was bigger. That's the only reticle you have there. I actually really like that one. That one's really good for CQB. So if you want to get on target fast, that 6 MOA dot is pretty good. You can pick it up nicely. But I've always been a fan of these green dots. First of all, it's green. And the 507 series is a multi-reticle. Let's see if we can do this on camera. If you hold down the minus button, you'll see here, it's also got a 32 MOA ring. Let me see if I can get that to focus in for you guys. It probably won't focus. I can never get it to focus in on camera. Let's see. So I'll just roll in a photo, but it has that 32 MOA ring with a, by itself, or you can do the 32 MOA ring with the dot in the center. I'm sure you've seen that hole get filled in there, or you can hold down the minus button and go back to your, it's a 2 MOA dot. So that one's a lot finer. It's better for, probably better than 20, 25 yards. Then this one becomes a little more efficient than this one, because this one covers up a whole lot of ground. Though they're not sniper rifles, it's not gonna make a huge difference, but you can do some more accurate shots with a 2 MOA dot. But as I said, since that one has the bigger dot for CQB, it's better. Also, that 32 MOA ring, that's also much better for CQB. So you could put that thing on a man-shaped body, cover in this area here. It's quicker to pick up. You can put that thing on a body if you had to and defend your life. You don't have to sit there playing with a dot. So that's another thing I like about that. As you can see here, you got your windage correction there. On top, you have your elevation turret right there. So you can go up or down. As you can see, this thing sits nice and low into this thing. So quick tip, if you get this with the MOS, there's 4 little posts that are on the slide for the 48 MOS. You do have to shave down the 2 back posts in order to get this thing to fit. But if you can carefully, slowly shave down those 2 back posts so that they sit flat, you see there's barely any gap. Like, there's a very tiny gap that you'll probably never see. I mean, I can't even see it now. It'll sit on there nice and flush. It'll sit on the 2 front posts, but it sits in this cutout so tight that even without those 2 back posts, there's no problem at all. And either way, you see your 2 screws here, they compensate for losing those 2 back posts. This thing has not shifted on me at all, at all, at all. So this thing sits super low. And as you can tell, with the standard Glock sights, let me see, there you go. I can still co-witness with this thing. And you know, Holosun always brings their 2 little divots here, which I did have to use on this one, which actually worked really nice because you can see that one fits flush too. Obviously, you can get an adapter plate. No, not obviously. Most gun guys know you can get an adapter plate to fit there and not have to cut down the posts, but I prefer to sit it nice and low. The lower, the better. It's not a world of difference if you do put the plate there, but I prefer less points of weakness, less points of failure. If I can get it to bolt down to the slide itself, much better. So another feature that this thing has are the two large buttons here, so you can see this thing cycle up. Let's see, that thing gets super bright. You cycle back down, it gets super low, so you can barely see it there. So that's good there. So that's that. As you can see here, you have the side loading battery tray, which is what I love, because on my Glock 19 I got the 507C, and that's the one with the solar panels on top. It's the one for full-size pistols, but it does have an underloading battery, and that thing is a headache. You have to take it off your pistol, change the battery, re-zero just in case you screwed it on a slight bit different than you did last time. So I like this. I never have to take it off of here. I pop that off, pop it out, put a battery in. It is the 1632 battery, so super common, just like the 507C, I believe was the 2032. Both of them are super common. You can find them on Amazon. Buy boatloads, change them once a year, even though these Holosuns batteries last forever. And speaking of battery lasting forever, it does have the shake awake technology. So after a certain amount of time, you put this thing down wherever, put it in a safe, put it on your nightstand, wherever you put it down for a while, it shuts itself off. If it feels even the slightest bit of movement, it picks right back on. So that helps consume battery, or helps conserve battery, but it's always ready to go when you need it to. So even with Shake Awake, even though this model doesn't have the solar panels on top, they do claim that it'll last up to 50,000 hours. So that's plenty of time for the average citizen. But either way, I personally would change this every 1 year to every 18 months, change the battery out. What most people do, and I've seen tons of guys that do the same thing, just on their birthdays, or they pick a day out of the year where they change their batteries on everything. I don't even think about it that much. I'll change it maybe once a year when I remember, not on an exact date, but that's what I do, though it will last forever. My Glock 19 has been lasting for years. I think I've probably changed the batteries once or twice. That thing is lasting forever. It's got like 5 years on it. So they do last forever. They have 12 different light settings on this thing. I believe 10 daytime settings and 2 night vision compatible settings. Also, as most red dots, it is unlimited eye relief, so it's not like a scope, to where as you pull it in and out, it changes what you're seeing. You hold this thing out, where you hold it in or hold it out, you're gonna see the same sight picture. So as all red dots, that's standard. It is made out of 7075 T6 aluminum, as many red dots are. So it's great. This thing is robust. It's why I like Holosun, because you can get the highest of quality without the Trichicon prices. So that's why I like Holosun, because they're right up there with them in quality. These things are robust, they're proven. So I suspect that soon these things might have the Trichicon prices on them. So for the turrets, for the windage and the elevation, as you turn them, they do have tactile clicks to them, so you can feel it. It comes with a little tool in the box. It's a multi-purpose tool for the bolts that you see there, and then for the screws. And on the other end, it has the flathead to turn the turrets there. And it does have tactile clicks. For every click, it's a 1 MOA adjustment. For those of you who don't know, MOA is minute of angle. So at 100 yards, 1 MOA is a 1-inch circle. So it moves over 1 inch at 100 yards for every click you do on here. So if you bring it in, obviously do the math, and you'll compensate for the distance. So if you're shooting, say, at 25 yards, obviously it's only gonna move 1/4 of an inch every time you do it. So you do the math for it and you move it accordingly. So if you're shooting within 25 yards, it's gonna be minimal movements. So when you're zeroing your red dot, walk it in there. This is the K version, so this is made for subcompact slimline pistols. As you can tell, this thing's not very big. It's about a little over 1.5 inches this way, 1 inch this way, 1 inch this way, so it's not a very big red dot at all. So I love it. It's great for everyday carry, CCW. This thing was made for everyday use. Also, as you can see on the front here, I've added a weapon mounted light. This is the Streamlight. You can see Streamlight there. And then here you can see it's the TLR7 SUB. So this is made specifically for the Glock 48, the SIG P365. There's slight modifications for each one, but they're compatible with all those. It is a 500 lumen weapon light. It has a 140 meter beam on it. It can run up to an hour and a half straight. I don't know anybody that's gonna run it that way, but they put it on the website. Maybe you should know it. This thing, as you can tell, it's 500 lumens is plenty for self-defense, nighttime shooting situations, anything like that. That's plenty. I mean, on rifles, I tend to get brighter, 1,000, 2,000 lumens, but for a handgun, this is plenty. It runs on a CR123A battery, which if you unscrew this front end cap here, you'll see. These are very common batteries that Streamlight uses. You can buy these by the packs. They're not expensive at all. You can get rechargeables. You can get all kinds of stuff like that. You pop that on. Cooperate. Pop that on. It does have a little O-ring there. You're gonna swing it all the way back around. If you look on this side here, see that little logo right there, the little drawing there. This thing has a lockout mode to where if you spin it back a little bit, you'll feel a little detent. It'll stop in that spot. So this thing is deactivated. It won't do anything, but it still looks completely normal. You rotate it back that way and it kicks back on. So as you can tell, this thing is activated by the switches back here. It actually comes with these higher switches that it comes with in the box. I actually took them off and switched them out because I like these. It gives me a little more access, not huge, but it does, as you can tell, it clears the trigger guard a little better. I'll roll in a photo of what those other ones look like. And considering this is a slimline pistol, since my finger is already swinging pretty close to this thing, if I swing down, it's a little better, and I can go right from there to the trigger if I had to. So I like that. Another reason I like this little flashlight too is, as you can tell, it sticks out a little further than the pistol. It's a little thicker than the pistol there. See this ledge here? So this thing, I've gotten used to putting this thumb on here and kind of riding it as a ledge. It helps manage recoil nicely, but I mean, obviously that's a normal grip, so I just swing down and hold here sometimes. After a while, it can start hurting. This little ledge right here can start digging into you on the recoil, but it does tend to work when you're not doing hundreds and hundreds of rounds. Though earlier today, I did do hundreds and hundreds of rounds and it did start hurting a little bit. So that's that. As you can tell, they put a little symbol there. It tells you how to load your battery in there. So you lock it in here. This is another reason why I got the MOS version, because it brings that rail on the front there. In the first Glock 48 video I did, which was the early iteration of the Glock 48, they didn't have this rail, so you weren't able to put a weapon mounted light, but it goes right on there. You undo this little screw right there. It has a notch here in the front. I'll roll in a picture of what that looks like. Just pop it in there, tighten this screw down, put Loctite on it. I mean, this thing is solid as ever. As you can tell, most of the videos I've been holding it from here. So this thing works great. This is probably the most compatible light for this weapon. That's another reason I got it, because there's a lot of support for holsters and things like that. So overall, it's great. Streamlight is already tested, tried, and proven. It is 5,000 candela. So as I said before, it's plenty of light. You don't need much more than that. In the dark, this thing's gonna light up whatever you need to light up, especially within distance of what this pistol's gonna shoot. Obviously, rifles shoot further, so get yourselves stronger lights on a rifle. But for this purpose, this is awesome. That little O-ring that I mentioned, when you knock it back on, when you screw the top back on, is what gives it its IPX7 rating. So it is waterproof to a certain limit. It also has the momentary on, so if you hold it, it'll momentary on, so you can search around whatever you got to do and you let it off. Or if you quick press it, it'll stay on. See there? Quick press, on off. A momentary press, it'll turn back on when you let it go. Turn back off, rather. So just wanted to run you guys through that. Obviously, this is the new EDC pistol, as I've mentioned in other videos. As you can tell, it's also stippled. I had a little short video I made on that. Did some little border work, did this myself. Did a couple undercuts here. So this thing is ready to rock and roll. Obviously in the future, I will do maybe a couple internal things. I don't like to mess with the internals too much. Maybe a drop-in trigger, titanium guide rod, things like that. Not titanium, tungsten guide rod, things like that, just to help it shoot a little flatter. But other than that, this girl is ready to rock and roll. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for joining me again. If you like that video, subscribe down below, comment, share, whatever you guys want to say. Let's talk about it. I like to learn from you guys as much as I like to teach anybody that's watching the videos. More important than anything I can say in this video is that Jesus Christ is King. I take prayer requests, so if anybody has anything on their mind, anything that they want prayer for, if anybody's losing hope, if anybody's in desperation, write me at allthingscincoedc@gmail.com so that your business is not down below in the comment section. We can have a private discussion, confidential. Nobody needs to know, between me, you, and the Lord. And if not, just let me know you need prayer. God knows what your situation is. So reach out down below. I'd be more than happy to pray for you guys. Jesus Christ is our only hope and our only salvation. So no matter whether you win or lose a gunfight, your eternity is secure only in Him. So I love you guys. Until next time, get armed, get trained, stay informed. Catch you later.